Welcome to the Dog Shop. Let's get started. So we're going to come over here to the top left to our media pool section. We're going to right click there and we're going to go to import media. From there we can locate our file that we're going to be using. In this case I'm using a green screen clip of an explosion. We'll double click on that, press change if this message pops up, and then it'll be up here. So now what we can do is we can drag it down into our timeline. Now to play it, we have a 14-second clip of an explosion. Now if your layout doesn't look exactly like mine, make sure you're not in the Cut tab and in the Edit tab instead. And then make sure you have Media Pool and Effects Library highlighted. You can highlight them by just clicking on them, and then they'll pop up. Alright, so now that we have our clip in here, let's make some changes. For starters, I don't want the clip to be 14 seconds long. I think that's too long, so we're going to cut it down to in half to about 7 seconds. So how do we do this? So we can scrub through our footage with this little red thing, all the way to 7 seconds. You can scrub through it all the way to there. And then from here, this is where we want to make the cut. We want to separate this into two different sections. You can either press this here, the blade edit mode, or you can just press B on your keyboard. So we can click that, click it right on the red thing, and then it'll separate it into two files. So now what we can do is we can press either A, or go back to our just regular selection tool, and then we can take this one, and then press backspace on our computer, and delete it, and boom. Now our clip is only 7 seconds long. Now if you want to take out just like a section in the middle, what you can do is you can just press B again, cut it, and maybe cut out this middle section all the way to here, press B again over here, then you can press A, delete it, drag them together, and that would be how you would take out a middle section of something. Alright, so let's talk briefly about audio for a second. Right now we have the video channel and we have the audio channel. Now right now the two are linked together. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to right click on them and uncheck the link clip section. All right, so now I can select them independently. So now we're going to select on the audio part, right click on it, and go to normalize audio levels. So right now it's set to -20 at the moment, but I want to make this much quieter, like it's a distant explosion. What we can do is just click on it and then type in a much more negative value. So in this case we'll go -30. And now as you can see, the audio level peaks have gone down a lot. And now it's much quieter overall. That's exactly what we want. And you can do the inverse and you can type in a higher number, which will make it be much louder. And if we just don't want the audio at all, we can just select the audio track and just delete it entirely. And with audio, you can cut it the exact same way as a video by using the blade editor tool and then just selecting areas. All right, so now that we have our clip edited to where we want, let's move on to the green screen. Let's come down here to our Fusion down here and load over. And then we're going to, on the top right, we're going to have our video up here. And then down here, we're going to have these two nodes. So for a node setup, basically you have outputs and you have inputs. And these noodles connect the outputs into the inputs. And you're going to have other nodes that go in between here that are going to modify the video itself. So for the green screen one, basically what we're going to do, first off, let's take this one here and we can just rename it. And we'll just type in explosion. This will help you know what each of the node setups is going to be. So this one's our actual explosion, our actual clip up here. So now, and then this is going to be our output, which is basically the final video file. So what we can do now is we can right click, we can add tool, go to matte, and then go to delta keyer. We're going to right click. Now we have this little node setup here that's going to go in the middle. So what we can do is we can drag this now into this input, and then this output into this input. So now this is directly modifying the output. All right, so with our delta key node selected, that's now modifying the output. We're going to come over here and we'll have the settings for it. None of this is really important. All you need to know is changing the background color. So now the background color is set to a gray. That's not really what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the eyedropper tool, drag it onto the green, and then release. And then that's pretty simple. That's all it's going to be, because now all the green has been keyed out and all that's left is the explosion, which is the non-green section of it. And generally speaking, that's going to be a pretty good green screen. There's not much you're going to need to change. Now we come back over here to the editing tool. And if we scrub through our footage, the whole background is going to be black because all the greens cut out of it. Now we can come back over here to the import media section and get our green screen background that we're going to use. In this case, I'm using a desert backdrop. All right, so now that we have our background image ready, what we need to do is we're going to take the green screen clip on our video 1 channel and move it upwards to video 2. because the explosion is going to be overlaying the backdrop, therefore it needs to be higher up on the list. So now that we have video 1 section open, we're going to drag in this backdrop right into there, and then we can extend the clip out over to the edge. And now if we go back and play the footage, it's a pretty good green screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some slight color correction. We can come down here to our color tab here, or video here. We don't need to worry about the nodes on this section. But what we can do is we can come over to the gain section here, move it to a much more orangey appearance. And then we can change the intensity by dragging this up. How much gain you want. And just dragging a little more to the orange, about there. There we go. And now if you play it, that already looks much better because the coloring matches the background better. And you can make some more adjustments as you go. Thanks for watching. Peace out, fam squad.